All right, Shalom. We give all praises to Yahweh, Bashem, Yahushai, Bashem, Kadash. Double honors the apostles of great millstone who will want to teach well and so I teach to occupy the folk on the earth. Pushing the truth to sincerity. Peace and blessings to you. This is the brother Gabarba from the GMS Donor Camp. And on my elder with me also, the brother Jeremiah and also Shemyar from the GMS Baltimore Camp. Okay, and I'm making this lesson on a comment, all right, of Simple Jake commented on my video, and he wrote, all right, this is Beamy Stole me commented, and this is to the Northern tribe to show you that Jake out here who's reading about color lines, okay, and think that Israel's only a dark skinned race, you are completely bamboozled. He said, "You never been in slavery, lying ass Mexicans. Prove you've been in slavery or get off YouTube. You Gentile Spaniards lying dude. How dare you claim our heritage? Really? GMS is a damn joke. You're not Israelites." Okay? Now, if you actually look into the history that even Esau provides, all right, the Native American and the Hispanic tribes all had Hebrew writing on stone, all right? And we all know that the first people discovered here was the so-called Native Americans and the Mexicans. Now you have to ask yourself, how did they get here? Okay? And that brings us all the way to Second Ezra, the 13th chapter, verse 40, what I'm about to read. And they were actually the first ones to really be enslaved from 1492. Okay? So let me get this real quick. This is Second Ezra 13:40 says, "Those are the 10 tribes which were carried away prisoners out of their own land in the time of Isaiah the king, who Salmanasar, the king of Assyria, led away captive, and he carried them over the waters, and so came they into another land." Now you have to understand, right? um while we were underneath all these various captivities until here in America, we've been in captivity all around the eastern part of the world. Okay, that's known as the known world. Okay, we ruled the whole east. So why would it say another land? Okay, says Uh, but they took this counsel among themselves that they would leave the multitude of the heathen and go forth into a further country where never mankind dwelt, which is what modern day America. Okay, man, on the western part of the world, no men lived on what you call today as North America and South America. Now, granted, King Solomon sent Hamites over here to collect various golds and animals and flowers and trees of that nature, but no one actually came on this land to actually live until the northern tribe left Assyria and came all the way over here. All right. Um, it says that they might there keep their statues which they never kept in their own land, and they entered into Euphrates by the narrow passage of the river. For the Most High then shewed signs for them, and held still the flood till they were passed over. For through that country there was a great way to go, namely a year and a half, and that's usually how long it takes to go from the Euphrates River all the way here to America, about a year and a half. Okay, modern day technology can tell you that. Says um and isn't and also it's like 11, it's a long distance when it's like what, how long does it take to go from here to the Middle East? Hold on, let me just search that up real quick. All right, I'm just gonna put Canada to Israel flight time, and it'll take 12 hours, right? 12 hours. So let's go to boat time. Boat time. See if it see if it gives me
And
anything
with that
here.
boat time, you gotta consider the fact that they didn't have uh, um, engine powered boats. They was moving by sail. So
That's right.
they had to catch a breeze, and also there's a current that runs from the western coast of Africa over to the Americas. and that's the route that Solomon would travel to get over here as well. Because to this day, sharks migrate and they feed on that same path line, like in the spiritual, because all hurricanes that come to the Americas, they develop on the western coast of Africa, and they come that same route over to the Americas. There's a stream, there's a current that takes you straight over here from that way.
Con,
There's a hot and there's a cold current, and I don't know if you read that part about he held back the floods because
Yeah,
at the bottom of South Africa is one of the most perilous oceans, so to speak, right? And what the
right.
brother
con,
was going into about how there's different currents, you can look it up. You brothers can see. There's hot and cold currents, you know.
Con.
And as you see, they went from the Middle East, from Euphrates, and they went all the way down, and the current carries them all the way to the Americas.
That's
You
right.
know,
con, con,
Like in that rough current down there along the South Africa. Certain times of the year, they go down there and they have surfing competitions because the waters be so rough, you know. And for regular boats to travel through there, it would take the spirit of the Lord back at that time to hold back the floods, man. See, these
con,
people got to be spiritual to understand that, man. If you think about it from a carnal mind standpoint, you're not going to get it.
con. Exactly. And you have all these modern day technology to show you, because even history shows you that the so-called Negroes weren't the first one here. We all know that,
Right.
right? We weren't the first one here. The Southern tribe was not the first people here. And you have to ask yourself, right? If you're going to say all the tribes are black or whatever, or case may be, how come you didn't say? How come when I think it was Christopher Columbus, right, that came over here? When he came over here, how come he didn't say the first people I saw were Negroes over here, the dark skinned Africans? He didn't say that, right? He said I saw the so-called Native Americans, and Hispanics and Mexicans, which was the northern tribe, northern Israel. That's what he saw here. Okay, so you can't refute that. And then also in Jeremiah, I believe it's Jeremiah 15:33. If a brother can get that, it says that
50 and
that
33.
yeah, Jeremiah 15:33, where it says Judah and Israel was oppressed together. Ever since the split, we didn't go into the same captivity. So if we were all of the same tribe, we should have been all oppressed together in Africa, right?
Con.
That's when we all should have been oppressed together. If we were all the tribes, and we should have fulfilled the prophecy of us coming over here and living here for a while, but we didn't because we're not the northern tribe. I mean, yes,
Hey,
you're
and you
gonna have.
mentioned,
Salakia.
my bad, but you mentioned Christopher Columbus. Like, they show you in that movie 1492 that he knew to come over here because he knew that the Northern Kingdom was here because
That's right.
he kept mentioning Esdras. What about Esdras?
That's right.
God,
So hey, and the movie shows him even um going into the apocrypha, right? Because he knew he's like, okay, look, like there's people, there's a chapter that says there's a country where nobody dwell and there's people there. So he's searching out the known worlds. That okay, it can't be the eastern side of the world. It
Hey,
has to be.
hey, I ain't mean to cut you off again,
No, go
but
ahead, Doc.
he debunked that flat Earth doctrine back then
Mm,
because they didn't want to finance him coming over here because they thought the Earth was flat.
that's right. And that everything he was doing was for naught, man. Okay. And then lo and behold, he discovered the northern kingdom, which you guys deny greatly. And they also it's so crazy. They keep more of the custom than you so-called niggas, man.
Yeah,
All right. They keep the borders of blue. They still keep the fringes. All right.
They kept the circumcision
That
too.
circumcision and land Sabbath.
Yep.
con. So
Oh
what do you
yeah, and
mean
proper
that you're not
marriage too, Ak.
Israelites? Yeah, con.
Yeah,
That's true. So hey, there's hold on.
I'm
let me
holding that
see here.
Jeremiah too.
Yeah, bring that out. I'm gonna.
All right, Con, it's Jeremiah 50 and 33. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh Shemiah Shah of hosts, the children of Israel and the children of Judah were oppressed together, and all that took them captives held them fast. They refused to let them go.
Right now, we all know that the last time all the last time the North and the South tribes were together was underneath the rule of King Solomon, King David, and King Solomon, and we weren't oppressed. We were ruling everybody.
Yep.
So from that period of when the kingdom split, when did the kingdom, both the North and the South, go into slavery together? It never happened until now, until the Americas, because if you read, the North went to Assyrian captivity and the South went to Babylonian captivity. And then they'll tell you in history that Israel just disappeared
Yeah,
after
off
Assyrian
off the face of the
captivity.
earth and everything.
Yeah, that's right. Like
Yep.
after Assyrian captivity, it's just like they don't know where they went. They're just gone.
Yep.
They disappeared, man. How come they didn't say they ran into Africa like the so-called Negro?
Yep.
They found the so-called Negro tribes. They found Judah, but no one can ever account for the whole of Israel. That's why you have these Jewish people. They'll count themselves as the northern tribes, but they can't explain the southern tribes because guess what that has to mean? They have to prove that they sailed all the way over here during the Assyrian captivity. Good.
I had a point
Uh,
to bring out,
yeah. Go ahead.
because you mentioned he mentioned that, and it's really funny because guys like that came up years ago too, man. They keep coming up year after year, and really what this is all about is not to prove to anybody because the elect is going to be gathered anyway, but really we're here to set up in the defense of the gospel,
That's
right?
right.
And the more information we bring out, the more they get mad, but it's good for them, but he mentioned that the Mexicans weren't enslaved, right? This is from a book called God, Greed, and Genocide by Arthur Grink, right? And this is from page I'm going to read a little bit. This is page 140. It says such acts were carried out not only in Hispaniola, which is Haiti and the Dominican Republic, but elsewhere as well. Once they had wiped out most of the native peoples in Hispaniola, the Spaniards hunted down natives in Bermuda and Cuba so that they might enslave them, right? It says to help systemize or systematize the enslavement of native peoples, Columbus introduced a system that would evolve into the encomienda system. This system put native communities under the control of Spanish masters who were free to work their subjects in any way they had wished. So that sounds like a lot what the Southern Kingdom went through, you know? And if you look up the encomienda system, it's basically the top men set up this system, right, as an enslavement. They went back to Spain, they put up taskmasters over the natives, and they brought all the money and all the resources back to Spain, basically. That's what
That's
the whole
right.
system was
That's right.
about, which is free labor, you know?
That's
It
right.
says during its early years, this system contributed to the death of millions of Amerindians through both mistreatment and overwork under terrible conditions. It says any slave who dared escape was hunted down with mastiffs, which is those tall ass fucking dogs, and even you can brothers seen the old depictions of the Spaniards coming with the big ass dogs, man, and they would
Dogs.
they
Yeah.
would yeah, they would acquaint the dog with human flesh, with blood,
Yeah. Yeah.
and they
Con.
would be
Con.
bloodthirsty,
Con.
And
Yep.
then when they would run away, they just slick them on you, and they know what they want. They're gonna eat you to death, man.
They brought them same methods to
Um,
the Americas when they had all them bloodhounds to track down.
that's
They
right.
them up to, like you said, the scent of blood or the taste of blood.
Con.
Mm-hmm. Con. It says if not killed on the spot when caught, the escapees were put on trial and punished harshly to discourage others from escaping. It says Las Casas, who's like a friar or a priest, if you will, who he wrote a book, right, called the Devastation of the West Indies, I believe,
Yeah. Con.
right, and these are all Edomites telling on each other, which is beautiful anyway. It says Las Casas estimates that only 10% of the enslaved natives survived to the point where they were dismissed because they were too broken to perform further work. It says again, quoting Las Casas, it says Standard gives a first-hand account of the Spaniards beating, kicking, and otherwise mistreating native people to force them to work, and how the enslaved, crushed, crushed by horses, cut to pieces by sword, attacked by dogs, and suffering all kinds of other tortures, abandoned themselves to their fate with no further struggle, their spirit broken. That was really it.
And then that's just showing you the proof that the Native Americans and the Hispanic tribes, they were going through just as rough time as we were. We were the only nations getting sold on boats, getting our families separated. We Those are all part of the curses of Deuteronomy
Hell, the
28.
Northern Kingdom's getting that hell right now, man.
Mhm.
Gone. The Japanese and all. Hey, even the other Dutch races like the Indians, right? The East
Yep.
Indians, the Hamitic tribe, they weren't getting sold. How come they weren't getting sold, but somehow the Native American and the Hispanic tribes were going underneath slavery? For what? For what reason would they have to skip over them if they weren't the chosen people?
Con.
Right.
Why didn't the so-called Native Americans and the Hispanic tribes get in on our slavery because
Hey,
they were part of it?
why doesn't Elam overrun the jail system here? Why you don't see a
Con,
bunch of Elamites in the jail system? Why is it always Northern and Southern Kingdom?
Con.
that's
Mhm.
right. Always, man. Always. And where the deadliest places is where the Israelites are. You got Harlem. You got certain parts of Mexico. You have certain parts in Brazil, Venezuela.
Yep.
Yeah,
All where Drake Dells is considered the most dangerous parts in the world, man.
Yep.
yeah. The favelas down in Brazil.
Con,
That's
you
nothing
know,
but a ghetto. A ghetto, man. Where Jake dwells. You go into the
con.
word ghetto, it means they say where Jewish people may dwell, but we know that means Israelites, man.
That's right.
But
Trying.
it say that the heathen will not understand his word, and the spirit bear witness that we are the children of Israel. But you gotta look how hard those Northern Kingdom camps out in California go for the truth, man. That they
Con,
got a whole camp full of Northern Kingdom, man, so-called Mexicans and natives, man, and they going hard for y'all about Shimmy Shah, you know.
con. And you have to ask yourself, how come the rest of these dark nations aren't prophesying on highways and byways, trying to wake up their people of the Israelites, man?
Tom,
Where they at? They're
yeah,
not, because they're not the people of the Lord.
where's all the tribe of Levi with them Amalekites out here teaching? Hey, for the rest of the tribes that come back to remembrance.
Con,
Con.
hey, can I get this precept real quick?
Come.
This is Baruch chapter 2 verse 1. It says, "Therefore Yahweh by Shemeshah has made good his word which he pronounced against us and against our." Hey, can someone, Salaki, can someone hold me Daniel's, I believe it's Daniel's 9 and 11, or verse 10. It says, "Therefore Yahweh Bashimashah had made good his word, which he pronounced against us and against our judges that judge Israel, against our kings and against our princes and against the men of Israel and Judah, to bring upon us great plagues such as never happened under the whole heaven, as it came to pass in Jerusalem, according to the things that were written in the law of Moses, that a man should eat the flesh of his own son and the flesh of his own daughter. Moreover, he had delivered them to be moreover, he had delivered them to be in subjection to all the kingdoms that are round about us." And you can tell the northern tribe doesn't have a kingdom of their own. Okay, they're not ruling with Esau. Okay, they're
Con.
not in the EU. Here getting accounts of how we're going to suppress the
Yeah.
Negroes. They're part of the oppression.
Hey,
Right.
hey,
Okay,
even these people who say all 12 tribes are Negro and everything, they say that the Northern Kingdom has like their own army and shit and all that, which is low key ran by Edomites, anyways.
fine. Yeah, and you have to understand, right? The same way the so-called Negroes are in the American army. You have to
Con.
understand Mexico is ran by Spaniards.
Spaniards, yep. Con.
I was
It's
just
That's
not.
I was just about to
yep.
say that. Like if you look at like a lot of them armies down in Mexico that's so called guard the borders, the head honchos are Spaniards, man.
Con.
Them lighter skinned, fair skinned, so called fair skinned Mexicans, man. And the people doing the grunt work, the dirty work, 9 times out of 10, those are Jake.
That's right.
Con.
That's right. And it's no different here. The only difference is they the Northern Kingdom blends in more with Esau over there because
Con.
they've been raped
Right,
and
right.
robbed and all that stuff. So they look kind of, in a sense, same skin tone. You know what I mean? But
Con,
they belong to us. All
con.
right. So then being in the army is no different than us being in Esau's army. All
That's
right. You
right.
got a lot of Jakes in Esau's army. All
Right,
right.
right.
It says, moreover, he has delivered them to be in subjection to all the kingdoms that are round about us, to be as a reproach and desolation among all the people round about where Yahweh Shemeshah has scattered them. Thus we were cast down and not exalted, because we have sinned against Yahweh Shemeshah our power, and not been obedient unto his voice. And the so-called Native Americans, especially, are cast down, man. They live in reservations.
Yeah,
Yeah, that should be worse than the ghetto, man. Like I see, like I was watching documentary and shit, man. Like there's mold in their house. They got no like
yeah,
AC, heat and shit.
yeah.
And like the babies, all they dress up in is like diapers and all that. Like I'm just like, oh my god, man. Like
Hey,
it's
man.
bad. Yeah, it's
And
bad,
then,
man.
they I think Lupe Fiasco had a lyric. He said, give the black man gun and the red man liquor." You know, and you look on the reservations, man. They make it illegal for them to have liquor on the reses. They drinking household products because it has a certain level of alcohol in it, man.
Alcohol, yeah. Or
Yeah,
they
kind.
smell like bottles of like chemicals and stuff and all
Yeah,
that.
time, man.
Yeah,
Them and Esau over there exploiting the Native American women, man. They having sex with them for bread,
bread,
loaf
yeah,
of
Kind.
con,
bread, man. Bottles of liquor, man. And you mean to tell me those people not being oppressed like we are?
con.
And them natives are getting treated worse than I
Then
mean
some of the jakes in the
some
ghetto,
of the
man.
Jakes, some of the Jakes in the
Kind.
ghetto. Yeah,
Yep, con.
That's right. You know. Because if you do a process of elimination, right, you're not seeing these nations going through that. Like, yeah, every nation has their little bit of problems, but who cares? They're not getting oppressed the way we're getting. Hey, they're the so-called Native Americans are so oppressed, man. They get the so-called free tax card, right? Because
Yeah,
they
yeah, yeah,
know
con.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yep, yep.
that this specific land belongs to them. That's why they give them these tiny little distractions and benefits that make them feel kind of special.
Even like it's kind of in a way like oh Esau trying to say sorry, like trying to like make Jake suck up to the fact that like they stole everything from us. You know what I'm saying? Like
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
and Jake sucks it dry, man. They just like okay, thanks Esau, and just go about their fucking day, man. Like nothing ever happened.
Con.
I got
Let me
I got
continue
that
in this.
Daniel if you wanted it. I mean
Oh
when
yeah,
you're ready.
bring that out, and then I'm gonna bring this out.
All right, Con, it's Daniel chapter 9, verse 10. Neither have we obeyed the voice of the Lord Yahweh by Shem Shah power to walk in his laws, which set before us by his servants the prophets. Yea, all Israel have transgressed thy law, even by departing, that they might not obey thy voice. Therefore, the curse is poured upon us, and the oath that is written in the law of Moses, the servant of Yahweh, because we have sinned against them.
Yeah, and you see that we are being cursed from the head of Judah all the way down to the last tribe of Israel, and you see
That's
it
right.
because what
That's
did the
right.
Most High say that these curses shall be upon you for a sign for your generations forever.
Yep.
Okay, it's in Jeremiah, man. When we were teaching in the old spot, you see a lot of northern tribes broken, man, walking up and down the street, finished, like
Mhm.
finished. Some of
Yeah,
them would while we're
feel
preaching, some of them
broken,
come up
man.
to us and crying.
Hmm.
y-
Yeah, it's true.
You know, so you can't say that the northern tribes, the so-called Mexican name, are not underneath the curses, man. Why aren't they living it up? How come they're not living it up like the Spaniards? You guys get
Right.
the Israelites confused with the Spaniards, man. You get the northern tribe confused with Spaniards, just like you get the Negroes confused with the Africans.
Yep.
Hey, that's how you
Yep.
know that's how you know we're
That's the
all.
Yapa. That's a Yapa example, like that's the Yapa,
But it's the
man.
truth. That's how you know we're
Yep.
all called a proverb and a
Proverb.
byword,
Yep. That's right.
because
That's
you
right.
you guys can't tell the difference.
Yep.
You're just like, well, you're this group, and then you're gonna look and say, oh, you're no better than Esau.
Yep.
No,
Yeah.
you're Africans.
Yep.
Okay, so
They
then
gave
you're
them
gonna.
Bob words the same as we.
That's right. That's right. You know. Um. Let
I
me
got a
continue.
precept, doc.
Okay, bring it up. Bring it up. Wait, hold
This
on.
is
Pause for that. What was read verse 12? I think you're supposed to say something in verse 12
Verse
too.
12, yeah, Con. Uh,
Salakia.
James 9 and 12. And he hath confirmed his words, which he
Yeah.
spake against us, and against our judges that judged us,
Right.
by bringing upon us a great evil, For under the whole heaven hath not been done as hath been done upon Jerusalem.
Yeah, and if you look at the back history of all the tribes, including so-called American, Native American, they basically got genocide, man. Okay, they got measles, the chicken pox. They got it bad, man. It says
Yep.
underneath the whole heaven, the whole what race of people went through what we went through, and the northern tribe people went through on the whole planet. You can't name none, man.
They're
Even
gonna
the
be like the
Hamites.
Jewish Holocaust or some shit.
Nah, man,
The,
that
the,
shit was fake, man.
They're
the real Holocaust was
gonna
done.
say some shit like that, man.
Yeah, Khan. The real Holocaust was done to the 12 tribes of Israel.
That's
That's
right.
right.
That's the
That's
real
right.
Holocaust.
That's
But they
right.
won't even tell you that there was a lot of Jakes in Germany in those concentration camps anyway.
That's right. That's right.
Right. That's right, Khan.
God, that's so
Right.
true. You know, Esau likes to. Esau got you simple Jake so confused and messed up in the brain that if someone
Hey,
does them something dark,
remember that movie, Freedom Riders?
yeah, I
Yeah,
remember that
Khan.
movie.
They had Judah and Ephraim together, and then the way they brought them together, they took them to a Holocaust museum to see some Khazars, man, and
Yep.
they touched their hearts. So to speak.
But see what I mean, man? They're always trying to, but it's beautiful you said that. The symbolisms are right in your face. They're always putting
God.
Jake and you know the two Jakes together. North and the South tribes are always together.
Yep.
Hey,
They always do that.
hey, what's that other movie? It might have been Blood In, Blood Out. It's a scene where one of them was an artist, and they broke his. He made a mention of
Oh, yeah.
um. Well,
You
I
talking
forget.
about Quetzalcoatl?
Yeah, Khan. I think he said something in the lines of I can't remember right now, but that movie show you that they know that the Northern Kingdom was Israelites. I'm gonna go find that scene, but it's a scene he made a mention of. It'll come to me, but go ahead.
You talking about when he was spraying the car?
Yeah, he was spraying a car, and he said something about
He
shit.
he mentioned that was the warrior, right?
The war.
Quetzalcoatl. He's gonna come back one day and free La Raza or something like
Yeah,
that.
free Lavrasa. Yeah, he
Yeah,
said I think he said Quetzalcoatl.
yeah, Quetzalcoatl. That was a god that the Aztecs worship, but that was really the Lord Yahushua, man.
Right.
You know,
Right,
because
right, man.
that's another good point for brothers to get into as well. Because that figure, he was known by I forget the name the Mayans knew him as, which is Zebulun. But you had also Gad and Reuben. They had a story about a man going throughout the Americas and teaching them different commandments and different laws and principles, and saying he's gonna come back, one day and deliver them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's your house shot, man.
Yeah.
God,
Go on. I got a
And
precept.
Salakia, and
Con.
say this quick. There was even a video where they were talking to one of the chiefs, and he was speaking of the prophecy, man, of the second coming of Yahushua as well, man. You
Con.
know, he was roughly saying it. He wasn't saying it through the scripts, but it was still the same thing.
Yeah,
Why would
just like
that be in his scripture?
symbolically.
Yeah, come on. Why would that? Why would he preach that?
Con.
Why would he say that? The heathens
Con.
don't say that. You
Exactly.
know. Go ahead.
Con. This is Deuteronomy 28 and 48. Those shall those shall serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee in hunger and in thirst and in nakedness and in want of all things. And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee. Y'all can break that down.
Bring
Yeah,
that back
and
out.
You
Bring
want to
it
read it
back.
one more time, Mark?
Yeah, Khan.
Con. This is Deuteronomy 28 and 48. It says, therefore, those shall serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee in hunger and in thirst and in nakedness and in want of all things. He shall
Now,
put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee.
now, didn't all that happen to each tribe, northern and southern?
That's
You
right.
know, you would relate the slave trade as just coming to the Americas, but northern Canaan was shipped over to Spain.
Con.
Yeah,
Before the Negroes.
before yeah, Khan.
Con.
You got it.
and
And
they keep.
Con.
No,
You
go
No,
you
ahead.
go
Go
you
ahead.
go out.
you got it. I'm done.
No, because back to the scripture we were saying too, just to back you up. They
Con.
were he said they were oppressed together.
Exactly.
Are we not getting this? If you look at the timeline for 1492 till now, what nations were oppressed together at once?
Exactly.
Right.
Process of elimination, man.
Exactly.
It's a process of
Yeah,
elimination.
you had a thing in Mexico where after a lot of the indigenous people were killed there, they brought in the so-called Negroes from I think was it 1502 or something like that. But they started clicking together. You know, the two tribes they
Con.
started clicking together with the
Right.
two kingdoms. So what the Spaniards did, they started dividing them. You know, they started dividing them on color lines, on class lines. They had like, I think if you look up colonial Mexico, they had like over 50 or 60 different classifications. Like if your if your father was a Negro and your mother was an Indian, you would be called this. You know, or if
Right.
you were mestizo, and you know, and they just classify you all, like a caste system, basically.
Yeah.
Con.
You know,
Yeah,
Con.
and their whole thing was divide and conquer, and that really happened spiritually with all the tribes. If Gad linked up with Judah, or if Issachar linked up with Judah, or you know what I mean, back
Yeah,
and
con.
forth, Esau would say, "No, no, we can't have this."
You have
You
that,
know,
yeah.
that's why.
They show.
How do you think Jake fell? It's two other Jakes. You know,
Right.
they had Indian scouts. You know, how are you gonna defend yourself when there's a man that knows the land like you, hunting after you and showing your enemy how to do the same? And then that's where
right.
you get these so-called Edomites, or these Edomites, I mean, these so-called white people. When you watch their shows, oh yeah, I'm hunting. You know, I'm tracking this guy. And
Track it,
they
yeah,
learned
con.
all that from the prophet,
From
man.
Jake.
How
Yeah.
does yeah how does the cracker know how to track, man?
Yep.
They
How to
Con.
do all these skillful things, you
That's
know?
yeah.
right.
They
And
learn.
and
They train their. I didn't mean to cut you off,
it's okay,
but
Yako.
they train their Navy SEALs based on what they took from
Yeah,
Geronimo.
that's
Con.
right. That's great.
You know, they
That's right.
show you a scene in
Yeah,
12 Years
well,
a
good.
Slave. No, 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 my bad. Go ahead, Doc. Go ahead, Doc.
Go ahead. You got it.
I was just gonna say they show you that scene in 12 Years a Slave where Jake and the natives was getting down with each other, man. You
Con.
know that
Hmm.
little brief scene where
Yep.
they were transferring the slaves. You know
Yeah.
they were singing and dancing together, man.
That's right.
Yep.
Because we all
Yeah,
have the
they
same
yeah, they
enemy.
acknowledge each other, man. Yeah, and like what the brother said too. I remember reading something about, I think it was World War II, where you had a lot of those the military, the U.S. military. They went around native reserves and started recruiting people, you
Yep.
know, to be like special ops and there's this one guy that I remember. He was crazy, man. He was from Canada, and I think he was in World War One or two, and he's like one of the most decorated soldiers or whatever. But you know, it's Jake. So when he came back to Canada, he was an Indian again. He was a drunk Indian, so to speak. You know, but he was so skilled. He would go into enemy territory. Like he would do all these great fucking things for Esau, and Esau, yeah, acknowledged it and decorated him. But again, when he came back here, he wasn't given the same benefits as Edomite soldiers. He wasn't given the same,
Yep.
this so-called freedom. You know,
Con.
Esau uses you. Yeah, yeah, you're his greatest people. You know, and then throws you back in the shit. You know.
That's
Yep.
right. That's right. And just to show you here, right? This is a rock from New Mexico. All right. And what you see on it, man. If you can see it close enough, it's the
Oh
Paleo
yeah,
Hebrew.
that's called the Los Lunes stone, right?
Right.
Con. That's right.
Is
Right?
it?
Yeah, it should
Yeah,
be.
There's even one in America too, Ak.
Yeah,
yeah,
but
yeah,
go
yeah,
ahead,
yeah.
Doc.
Yeah, there's
Yeah,
a
the
lot of
Los
them,
Lunes
man.
stones was New Mexico.
Con.
Yeah, there's a lot of them. There's one in Back Creek. What's it called? Back Creek. I forget where that was.
They got
You
something
know,
called the Serpent Hills in Ohio.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, the Serpent Mountains.
yeah, Serpent
I mean,
Mountain. Yeah.
the whole proof is in the pudding, you know. But that's why it says, they have eyes to see and ears to hear, man. Because if the spirit ain't dealing with you, you're not gonna accept this, whether you have all the evidence or not, you know.
Con.
But this is a light thing. This is a light thing that is going on, man. Hey, let me
Yeah, I got
switch it
this
up real.
quickly.
Yeah, come
This
bring it
is
up, bring
from
it up.
since you brought that up. This is a book called The Ten Tribes of Israel by Timothy R. Jenkins. Right. This is from page let me see, page 9, or slightly page 14. It says It says several years before that, the writer of this article had seen a grammar of the Chilean language, and the verb was cast in that Hebrew mode. It says no Hebrew scholar could doubt this. It may be said that Chile is South America. Very true, but let it be remembered on our side that Hebrew emigrants had been in America 500 years before Christ, and of course the Mexicans are descendants of the Hebrews. If it be true, then the Chileans are as well. And then down here it says, in going down Lake Champlain in December 1832, I detained by an accident which happened to the steamboat. There I discovered near a small village Hebrew letters on the rocks. Af-
Ooh.
At first I thought they were the marks of feet upon the rocks, which Mr. Morse speaks of in his geography, but on reflection I saw that some were Hebrew sheens. They were large letters, from 4 to 5 inches long and beautifully carved. He says, I did not count them, but presume to say that there were more than 100 near the outlet of Lake George. It says, there are other inscriptions in Pennsylvania on the rocks of the root of the canal, I've heard. And there's a lot of these things that happen, but Esau, he's not going to tell you about it, though.
Con, man. Man, Esau, because Esau wants to hide. Because if Esau told the history of really the Mexicans and the Native Americans, then guess what? We're gonna look at it like, yo, we have something in common. That's the
Yeah,
divide and conquer again. Because
yeah.
then we all start clicking like, wait a minute. So we were in the same boat. That's why they don't have a national Mexico Slavery Month and a national Native
All they
American.
have is Cinco de Mayo.
Yo, con,
Yeah,
you know. Let me get this real quick. Um,
And if you look at a lot of the cooking styles of natives, Negroes, and so-called Mexicans, man, we can cook, man. We into the spices. We know we give food flavor, man.
con.
No,
Con, that goes into that salt, man.
yeah. Well, what's the What's the Edomite national dish, man? What's their specialty? You know, they
Salt and
can't even
pepper.
claim. Hey, they
Probably
can't
a
even.
goddamn uncooked pork chop or something.
Yeah, they can't even. They can't even claim Italian, so-called Italian food because that's Jake that cooked that
That's
shit.
Jake, yeah, all up in Italy, man, all up in Europe. That's Jake that did that, man.
yeah, yeah, man.
Even over
Italy,
in Greece.
Portugal.
Yeah,
Even a lot
Yeah,
of Jakes, a lot of Portuguese and Italians are Jakes too, man.
Yeah, yeah.
that's true.
Hey, let me get this real quick. This is Joel 3 and 3. It um says, and they have cast lots for my people, and have given a boy for a harlot, and sold a girl for wine that they might drink. And that's also going into also the curses with separating the children.
Children,
All right,
yeah,
and
con.
that was happening to
Which
the
is going
native.
on right now, Ak. Right now,
Yeah,
as we speak in America.
so there you go. It's still happening, and it shows you that these events were happening to both us and them. It wasn't just
And
an
them,
us
yep.
thing. We need to get out past this color. All right, midway through 2018, and you niggas are still stuck on if someone looks dark as you. So what do
African,
you? So hey,
all that shit, man.
if I can say this, right? Don't you have
Wakanda.
so-called, yeah, Wakanda? Niggas believe in Wakanda. You know, but you
Fucking
have
idiot.
Yeah,
but this is how hilarious this is, right? You have southern tribes, right? That are so light you call them light skin, red bones, yellow bones. Now, would you count them as Israelites because they're not dark?
yep.
I bet you
That.
these
Hey,
same niggas are gonna say that.
Barba, Awar wants to get in, so if you can't send him a link.
All right, Con, let me send it to him because I know.
Hey,
Actually, I'll send this since you're speaking. Okay, my bad.
Oh yeah,
what
Con.
was that you just brought out? Daniel's 3 and what was
No,
that?
Joel 3 and 3.
Joel
Yeah, Joel
3 and
three and
3.
three.
Okay, gone.
Con, right? Because I was going back to what I was saying. Because at the end of the day, these niggas will go and go to light skins and be like, oh, they're niggas, they're this, they're that. But if you're basing it on skin color, they shouldn't be accepted, right?
Right.
Con.
And then you got East Indians and Asians, so-called Asians, that are darker than them. So what are you gonna say? They're
Yeah.
Israelites?
like especially over in like Cambodia and Vietnam, South Asia.
That's
You
right.
got Jake. You got so-called looking Polynesians over there with afros, curly hair, man.
That's right.
Yeah, Philippines.
Philippines,
Con.
yeah.
And
The,
then
the
Pacific
still,
and
Islanders, stuff like that, man.
they call them negritos.
Goddamn, even
Yeah,
Ethiopians have like woolly hair and all that stuff and all that, man.
and then over in Japan, they got a calling for Jake over there. They call him Hafu.
con. Eh? And then don't forget the Solomon Islands where Japhet is and all that stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
They're Israelites too, man.
Uh,
That's when you start breaking this stuff down as a joke. Cause also, what was the key? Also, one of the key prophecies that Yahweh Shai said. Hey, can someone get me that Daniel 7 and 9? Okay, we were gonna have what also confusion of
I got
faces.
it.
Con,
Wheats and tares, man. Like the parable that Yahushua spake in, I think it was Matthew the 17th chapter.
Con Matthew 13.
13, yeah,
con.
con.
Can we get
I
that
got
Daniel 7?
Daniel 7 and 9. It says, I beheld till the thrones were cast down, and the ancient of days did sit.
Oh,
His garment,
So like in 9 and 7. I always get
9
those
and
mixed up.
7, yeah.
Yes, 9 and 7.
Daniel 9 and 7. It says, O Lord, righteousness belongeth unto thee, but unto us confusion of faces as at this day.
Right. So even the Southern tribe is gonna look like so-called Asians and so-called Japanese and so-called Indians and Polynesians and Russians and Hamites. Like you have all of this mixture on top of that. So at the end of the day, for you to even deny the Northern tribe as they are, you're playing yourself. Okay? Yes, you have majority or some Israelites that look the same as they should be, but we're really scattered, looking like all these other nations.
Con, I got a
Okay,
precept doc to back him up.
go ahead. If he
Uh,
was done, well,
oh, you
Yeah,
done,
just
Doc?
okay, Emma.
let's do a little bit more. It says,
Okay,
Yeah,
con,
come.
con.
read again, Daniel 9 and 7. O Lord, righteousness belongeth unto thee, but unto us confusion of faces as at this day, to the men of Judah and to the inhabitants of Jerusalem, and unto all Israel that are near and that are far off, through all the countries
sure.
whither thou hast driven them, because of their trespass, that they have trespassed against thee. And I got to take a point from what the apostles always say. You're telling me you send the Most High scatters a bunch of Jakes in the Philippines, Thailand, Cambodia, Vietnam, Japan, all these lands, and you see them fine ass woman, and Jake just got their nose up in the air.
Yeah,
You know,
con, con, con,
you know.
Yeah, con.
Yeah,
con.
man, there's a thing. What was it? A lot of Jakes when the whole UFC thing came out in the '90s, they went to Japan to fight, right? They had a it was called Pride, I think, right?
Yeah, pride, yeah.
And yeah, Pride. They were fighting. You had guys like Bob Sapp, those big Judah guys.
Yeah.
They went over. A lot of Brazilians went,
The
and
Gracie,
they were asking Rampage.
the Gracie
Yeah,
family.
yeah, Gracie's fine.
Mhm.
Yeah, the Gracies went over there. And you had this guy Rampage, Rampage Jackson, right?
Rampage
Yeah,
Jackson,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
And they're asking, he's like, "What'd you do over there, man?" And you're just like, "Japanese women, man. Japanese women." You know?
And you have to,
Con.
So when Jake populates with or genders with these other nations, man, 2, 3 generations on, that child is, it doesn't look like of the stock of Israel. You know?
That's right. Con.
con. And you have to understand this too, right? We're talking about thousands of years period here, man.
Yep.
Thousands of
Yeah,
years of
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
scattered.
hey,
con, con,
that's thousands
con.
of years of popping, and down the line, that seed looking more and more like that other nation.
That's right.
God,
Con.
Because
But
people
that
don't.
spirit, you can't take away that spirit of an Israelite, man.
That's right. Because this is the next thing that you simply just don't understand, right? That you have to factor in time. This isn't a thing where it just happened in one day. When Moses say he's gonna scatter us, he didn't say in one day I'm gonna do all of this. This was over long periods and
Yep.
of years, man.
Even
Long,
other
long
captivities,
periods.
man. Even other captivities, huh?
That's right. That's
Going
Right,
right.
all the way back to Egypt, man.
right.
Popping women and
Con.
all that stuff, man.
Yeah,
You
man.
know?
Even when we went to the Ammonites, man, and we're
Ammonite,
battling
yeah.
Ammonites.
Yep.
Yo, Jake was taking women in their tents and they weren't supposed to, bringing
Exactly,
them in their
exactly.
pocket.
Yep.
So you're not stopping, especially during the rule during hey, did it not Yahweh even said to Jake, this is how you know Jake can't stop popping women. Did he
Jake,
not
Jake,
say,
Jake, trying to pop something, man.
yeah, come on, because what did he say? They wanted to meet the Most High, and the Most High said, okay, don't fast, don't pop your women for 3 days, and they all of them are like, nah, bro, like, cause Jake can't can't
Hey,
hold
Jake
still.
just the only thing you can tell give Jake is they took Genesis 1, be fruitful and multiply to
That's
the
Con,
right.
10th power, you know.
con.
We're laughing, but it's so true, man. Jake
Yeah,
dominates,
con. It
man, and
is.
then you have to consider from the Holy Roman Empire, man, all the way to 1400s, we were
Yeah.
ruling. So what do you think we were doing in that time period,
In
man?
Europe, especially, man, what they would do is they would slaughter the Edomite men and take the
Con,
Edomite women and turn them into concubines. You know.
Yeah,
Con, that's
con.
right.
Hey, and Jake ain't spilling no seed. Jake leaving it in, man.
He's leaving it
Yeah.
in. Yeah, he's not pulling out, man. He's not pulling
Yeah,
out,
Jake ain't
man.
pulling out, man.
Yeah, man. Con.
You
Hey, I
know,
mean, it makes. I mean, it it may sound like a joke, man, but it's true, man.
Yep. Con.
con.
Yeah.
that's right. That's right.
Con. I got a precept.
Hey, yeah, bring that out, Doc.
Con. This is Jeremiah 12:9. It says, "Mine heritage is unto me as a speckled bird. The birds round about against her. Come ye, assemble all the breasts of the field. Come to devour."
Yeah,
Hey,
and
what's that? What scripture was that again?
Jeremiah 12:9. Knock.
All right, come.
Con.
that's beautiful you said that because I'm gonna search up speckled bird right now.
Hey, that's
Yeah,
Con.
hey, that's what I was doing right now too. Huh?
See, but that's that's the spirit,
you
man,
know,
right?
Cause a bird
good
is
word.
like a bird is one species, right? And
Yeah.
you look at it as the nation Israel, but there's different types of birds. There's
Look at
different
that.
color birds. There's
Right.
big, small types of birds. You know. You know,
Look at
look
this
at brother
bird.
Gabar
It's dark.
right
Hey,
there.
It's dark.
what you do?
Light.
You Google
That's
speckled
right.
bird.
Yeah, that's all
That's
I
right,
did.
Doc.
Speckled bird, man.
Hey, and I got the blue letter definition: colored, variegated, speckled. Let me get this word variegated.
I
Con.
got the word.
You got it.
Yeah. This is variegate because this is a good word, man. I looked this up a while back. This is 1650s. Give variety to from late Latin, made of various sorts or colors.
Wow.
Mm.
So that's a cut.
Cut.
It
Clean.
says,
And Jake is as the sand of the sea, man. There's different colors of sands. There's literally white sand. There's
Hey,
black sand. There's
There's pink.
brown sand.
There's pink.
red sand,
There's pink sand.
hey,
red sand.
That's
Jeremiah,
right.
Unfortunately, there's well, hey, not unfortunately, but
Jeremiah.
there's even white sand. You know,
Can
but
you add a
those
war to
Edomites aren't
the
white. My bad.
group?
You got it.
No, so like yeah, just can you add a war to the group because he can't open the link. Can you
Oh, you
manually
can't.
just add him in?
Red
Yeah, it
sand.
said the link won't open.
Um, con. It says
Continue, Shema. Oh,
it
go
says
ahead.
past participle of variegaire, diversify with different colors, from various, spotted, changing, or varying. Right, and
Oh,
you
so
get the
there you
picture.
go. Hey, and you know what? You know why? You know why it's like that? Because Jake's like different things. All Jake men like different varieties. Some like darker, some like lighter. So of course you're not gonna all be one skin tone, man. We're gonna have different flavors. We're gonna like the way a certain girl look
Listen,
more
man,
than
I don't.
others.
I'm gonna say this, right? You have the top Jake entertainers, right? They got all their women. They might be on that black woman, black man love thing, right? They got their woman. They might be with the finest woman for a year. Trust me, man. When a Jake sees, it doesn't matter what nation. If the woman looks good, he's popping
Yep,
that woman. You
yep.
know what I mean? He's
He's
not on
popping
that
that, bro. He's
monogamous
popping that. Con.
monogamous thing, man. About
Hey,
this is my queen. Listen,
even if
that
even if
Jake.
hey, my bad. My bad.
Hey, them Jake, like they say, spider senses are tingling. Them Jake senses start tingling. He says, "Man, I'm,
Hey,
I'm swimming in some Jaffa Punani tonight, man."
hey, and even if she big and she look good, Jake gonna pop her. But
Yep,
if
yep.
she ugly and they gotta look at her from the neck down and that body look good, Jake gonna pop her.
Popper. Yep.
You know,
That's right.
you
There's no
think
stopping
of
Jake,
how
man.
hard it was to pop one of those goddamn Aborigines over in Australia, man.
That's right.
They got popped too because Jake over there too, man.
Con,
That's right.
that's right. That
That
shows
was
you,
it on the
yo,
word.
con. But that shows you, man. you can't and what is Manasseh known for, man? For what is it fruitful? Is it
No,
being
that's
Yeah,
Ephraim.
no,
fruitful?
that's Ephraim, Ak.
If you
Ephraim,
go and look down
Aparium.
to
Khan.
Yeah, if you look down at Brazil, yo, bro.
No, but the Ephraim is the Puerto Ricans, man.
That's
Them
what I mean.
Ephraimites, man.
Yeah, but that's what I
They
mean.
got,
Like
yeah. But spiritually, yeah, you're right. You know, all the northern kingdoms, man, they're all about the family. You know, they got a
that's
big
right.
family, man.
Big. I mean, like Jake, the South Tribe have big families too, but down there, even a guy at work was telling me, he's like, yo, you need to move down there. You need to move down. Oh, because like there's so much varieties in the Northern Kingdom as well, and there's so much of them,
Yeah,
so much of them.
Con.
That's
You know,
right.
hey, let me get this precept because I said that actually, because this is all of this is just evidence of how it goes. Man. Where are you? Salakia. Ah, I just saw it. This is this it. Where you go? Where you go? Salakia, Akian, Salakia. I just saw it.
Yeah, they try to send Susan.
Yeah, okay, this is Hosea chapter 1, and I'll start at verse 10. And it says, yet the number of the children of Israel shall be as the sand of the sea, which cannot be measured nor numbered. And it shall come to pass that in the place where it was said unto them, ye are not my people, there it shall be said unto them, ye are the sons of the living power. Then shall the children of Judah and the children of Israel be gathered together. So if we're all the same, if we all look the same, how come how come um how can we be gathered all together? Are we not do we not respect the so-called Negro Latinos respect or sorry, so-called Negroes respect one another to an extent? Even though we're
Yeah,
still killing
Khan.
each other, we still look like, oh, you're one of us, you're one of us.
One of us, yeah,
So
Khan.
why he said we're gonna come together? Because the North and the South tribe don't look at each other as the same people. That's why the remnant is gonna come back together to join back the whole of Israel, right?
Right.
As on the
I got a
children of
precept
Israel.
after you, Ak.
And that just make you wonder, like, you got Issachar everywhere, but at one point in time, California was considered part of Mexico. Why you think the camps of Latino tribes starting to teach started over there?
That's right.
Con,
Wouldn't it make
con,
sense for it to start like in that region?
That's right.
con. Hey, let me give y'all a scenario, right? When I was in the world, I had a few Hamite people that I worked with, right? But one of my closest boys ever in the world, he was a so-called Mexican man, a northern tribe, and me and him vibe like tight, man, tight. Like I didn't even have to question. We knew what each other were thinking and everything, man. But yet I'm with a dark skinned Hamite and all them, and the man's annoying the hell out of me. I hate the way he talked. I hate the way he
Hey,
moved. I hate the food he ate. I
Yep.
couldn't stand being around him. But yet I'm vibing with a northern tribe that looks white, damn near, right? But I'm vibing with them, man, and we're
Khan.
totally cool. Go through the same crazy. His father left, like while he was like
Khan.
12, 14. He's skadoodled. He's out, man. He's
Yep.
nowhere to be found. All these things, man. He's been underneath the curses too.
hey,
So
I,
I
I
can't.
got
Yeah,
a similar situation. Like coming up, I was cool in middle school with a Palestinian. Now,
Con,
what kind of Palestinian come to America, loves hip hop, plays American football, not soccer, American football, and when I was around his homies from over Palestine and Ethiopia, he had friends all over. I didn't vibe with them motherfuckers, man, but I
con,
vibed with him, and he vibed with Jake all throughout middle school. And I tell him all the time, I said, man, you ain't no fucking Arab, you're an Israelite. You know,
con,
Khan.
come
con.
ain't no Arab coming over here to play American football, man,
This is Jake, man.
and then
You
be
know,
good at it. Then be good at it, man. Come on.
Yep, Khan.
con. That's right, man. Because
Khan.
Jake's talent or Israel's talent stands out above all nations. It like
Yep.
you have heathen nations that have one, two talented people, whatever, but it still doesn't compare to a
To
regular
Jake.
Jake, man.
Yep.
A regular Israelite could squash the most talented heathen out there.
Yep. That's right.
Okay? We
Uh,
just have natural
You know what?
ability.
Since you brought out the Issachar thing, you know that bugged out rapper. What's his name?
Six
Lil
nine.
Xan or whatever.
Takashi.
Yeah, his dad's a brown Issachar, man.
Yeah.
You know,
So there you
and
go.
and you got a lot of points like that. You have like a guy like Blake Griffin, the basketball
Yep.
player. He's a
Yep.
That's an amazing example because his father's jet black Haitian, Levite, you know, and
Oh,
he married a Irish woman, I believe, right? A red
She
haired,
she might be a
freckled
Jake
Irish
too,
woman,
Ak.
you
hey,
know, and
I
then
always say I ain't
Blake
mean to cut
Griffin.
you off, but I always say Blake Griffin is the perfect example because why the fuck would Esau use him to play
Yep,
Cornelius in a commercial?
yep.
Yep.
Fine.
Esau thinks he's slick, man.
Esau knows, man. Hey, these elites know, man.
Yeah,
They
because
know.
they keep the wealth within their families, so they have to know, right? If they didn't know, they would know they'd be giving their wealth to whoever. That's why they understand the lineage of the man, the lineage of where you come, because
Yep.
they deal with wealth. See, these people that are in a modern day society, they deal with trying to get so-called education. They're trying to get jobs or whatever. These people deal with family lines and wealth, man, because they
Mm.
understand they lose the minute they give their wealth to somebody outside their family line. That means they have rights to seize their assets, and they're not about someone seizing their assets.
That's right.
All right, and that's the thing that Jake don't understand.
Yeah, Jake,
Jake,
because Jake is crazy, man. Like, I grew up with a lot of Latin tribes too, man. And this one Brazilian family. These It was two brothers, and their father was a dark skinned Brazilian, woolly haired, everything, and he married a white Portuguese woman who had two children prior with an Edomite guy from Portugal. So there are two brothers. It was interesting. It was like two Edomite guys and two Israelite brothers,
Yep.
and they always beef too. They always had problems,
Just
and
great action, man. I was just great action.
Yep.
Hey,
they had problems, man. They weren't good, like so. But the father was bugged out, man, because them two Brazilian brothers, they were like 2 years apart. But I hung out with both of them. They started hanging around with Jakes, and this one Benjamite they started hanging around with. They got in trouble or whatever, arrested. And then the father was like, "Oh, fucking negro, fucking negro." He started calling them all these fucking words. I'm looking at dude. I'm like, bro, like, look at you, man. Like, what's the, what's the difference,
hey,
man?
that's a fucked up situation
You
right
know, and that's the mindset that them dirty ass Spaniards and Portuguese they put upon Jake in South America, man.
America,
Different,
yeah.
that's right.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
right.
they
I was
put,
even reading too, Ak, that even in Brazil they're trying to import Edomite seed over there, man. You know? Trying to depopulate Jake's seed over there, man.
they
You
doing
know?
that everywhere, man.
Yeah, because they know that
Con.
what did it say? Yo, you can even bring in Obadiah. Obadiah says that they're what
Yeah, con.
that you're small among the heathen.
Yeah,
You're the smallest
Heathen, yeah.
population on the planet, and it's coming to mainstream. Though we known this for a while that you've been but the minority, it's coming
They
to
die
light.
more than they produce, man.
Yeah,
it's like Esau trying to darken their bloodline by popping Jake. Create a darker race of them,
hmm
Yep.
but they can't because they once that child go pops another Edomite or whatever down the line, it's going to start looking like an Edomite more and more.
that's right.
Exactly.
And they can't even really resist their spirit because their spirit's gonna cling more to their own because we have an enmity, right? Like Jake, because we can pop anyone we want, we don't care, right? We can just but for
Yeah,
them, they have like a grudge
Yep.
against Israel, so
Darker
they're not
skinned people.
free to really go like they'll do it as a in your face. Oh, I get whatever I want, but they're not really trying to mess with Jake, and they can't mess with Jake women underneath the curses, boy.
Con.
Boy, your hands are full when you're messing with an Israelite woman,
when,
man.
when when
Even
you see Esau fucking with a Jake woman or whatever, they do that to say, "Look, I'm over you. I got
yeah,
control over you. Look what I can do.
that's right.
I got your women."
But they're the same ones going to homos to get all this weird shit done to them, and then they have their side
Busy.
Caucasian on the side because they're at the end of the
Yeah,
day they're
that's
still
a good point, man. That's a good point. Because I remember years ago at camp, this Edomite from university, he came up, and I forget what he said. He said something, and the brother responded, and he's just like, "Well, I don't care, man." He's like, I fuck a lot of black girls. He's like, I'm gonna go fuck some right now at a party, and he's like putting it in your face. You know what I mean? Like the
Yeah,
brother was
Khan.
saying, they're over you. It's not you bugged out Evites. You guys think, oh, this man loves me. You know,
Yeah, Khan,
Yeah,
Khan.
wasn't there just a story about an Edomite killing his so-called black girlfriend?
yeah.
Yeah. Con. Yeah, I seen it.
He ran her over with a truck or some shit.
Yeah.
They call them a trophy. It's like a trophy to them, man.
Hey, yo, but at the end it shows you they can't handle our woman. They just do it because they're like, oh, I got them, man.
Hell
They
no, they
swear.
can't handle it, man.
Can't handle it, man.
Hell
Yo,
no, because
imagine, right?
it's gonna
Fuck
bug a
you.
Jake woman out, and they gonna do it. I done heard bitches say they'd do it, but they'll flip over and say, plug me now. My turn.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
It's weird.
Esau's a cuckold, man.
yeah.
It's weird, man.
It
Hey,
really Eve goes a lot to Esau too because they feel like Esau is weaker. They have more control over Esau, man.
yeah, because I saw a movie with what that guy's name, Chris Rock. I forgot what movie it was,
Khan.
but
I know what you're
he
talking
was
about.
yeah when he was trying to be serious, like he was trying to be serious, but everyone said you should stick to comedy or something like that. And the woman he ends up meeting was a journalist, and guess what? She is a Jake, and she was dealing an Edomite in the movie, and she said all the Edomite wanted her to do was for her to pop him in the ass, man,
Yeah,
all the time.
Damn.
So it shows you like that's why they don't really breed for Esau because Esau wants the other way around with them, man.
Yep.
You know?
Con, yeah, man. That's showing you that Esau is submissive, man. Naturally,
yeah,
he's a lower vessel, man.
yeah.
You
Con.
know,
That's right. That's
Yep.
right.
we
Um.
got a precept though, because the brother was saying the two kingdoms are at war, right? And that was something that the Lord did, but He's bringing it back. This is
That's
Zechariah
right.
11:14. It says, "Then I cut asunder mine other staff, even bands, right? And didn't who was it? David. He said that cut their bands asunder,
Con.
right?
Con. Psalm 2.
And then those bands, those are the 12 tribes, man. Because even Gad, they had a thing called a band, which is like a camp. Your different tribes, your different bands, and just like with us, the Most High set up different camps or different bands, you
Con.
know, um, that I might break. I'm gonna read again. Then I cut asunder mine other staff, even bands, that I might break the brotherhood between Judah and Israel. See, and that's what the Lord did. He broke that brotherhood that we had for each other, man.
That's right.
Con. And you see that through the example of the comment of that sinful nigger light today by saying that you Mexicans are an Israelite. That's a living proof that you guys don't look at each other as the same people.
Oh
That
yeah, I
literal
seen that
person.
comment knock.
Hey, did we
Con.
bring out Isaiah 11 yet?
Nah, bring that out.
Yeah, Con.
Yo, we can bring that out and we can close on that.
Yeah, Con. It's Isaiah 11:13. The envy also of Ephraim shall depart, and the adversaries of Judah shall be cut off. Ephraim shall not envy Judah, and Judah shall not vex Ephraim.
And
Mhm.
we have to really understand the real meaning of that. That's really the elect. Because 2/3 of y'all are gonna envy each other regardless. You're gonna look at each other as enemies till the end. Okay, so really is that remnant that's gonna not envy each other. Because when you look at the camps around the four corners of the earth, you have a bunch of north and southern tribes together, all teaching in one concord, speaking the true gospel. You know, we're not fighting amongst each other as back 50, 60, 70 years ago. You know, is there any more on that?
I had one more precept.
Oh
This
yeah,
is
con.
Isaiah 9:21. It says, Manasseh Ephraim and Ephraim Manasseh, and they together shall be against Judah. For all this, his anger is not turned away, but his hand is stretched out still.
Hey, what
Yeah,
scripture is that out?
That was Isaiah 9:21.
Isaiah 9:21.
and you
Con.
can in the
Con.
main one of the main examples for that is the gangs, right? You got the two gangs, man. Don't like each other, man. You got um the blood and the Crips, and then you have the man,
Latin
is it
Kings.
yeah the Latin Kings, and there's another one. What's the other one? Uh, hold on, let me.
And the 13.
Yeah,
MS
MS-13,
13. Yeah.
right? though they beef amongst each other, they especially do not like Negroes, man.
Yeah,
Hey,
They,
especially the
hey, they,
hypocrites in Cali.
yeah,
I'm
they
Some of
afraid to
cap.
say
them,
they gang banging on the reses too now, man.
yeah.
On, those that is living proof that they're against each other, man. Straight up, you know. So if nobody else has anything else, we're gonna close it on that.
Hey, I mean, I'm gonna make a quick example. Like you can
Go.
see that it's coming. They coming back together. Like I seen a video where one Jake and like two so-called Mexicans. It was a jail video. Somebody recorded it from in a jail, and the two Mexicans was with the Jake, and they was all trying to put to death another Mexican.
Hmm.
See, that's crazy, man.
You know.
That's straight crazy.
Con.
So with that, we're gonna close out again.
Hey,
We're gonna
hey,
give all
hey,
praise.
that's hell to Esau, man. To see the tribes coming together,
Con, that's right.
that's
Yeah,
scaring the shit out of Esau right now, man.
That's right.
that's right.
That's the key,
Man,
man. That's
that's
the
why
key.
these Edomites can't sleep, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Hey,
Cause
what
just like that,
Tupac say? Brown, black love, brown, black and brown love. You know what I mean. You know what song I'm talking about, man.
Con.
Con.
And just like what the elder was saying earlier, as soon as we were coming together during slavery, they were doing what divide and conquer,
Yep.
you know, and that's what
Hey,
it's
well,
that.
quick precept just for that, right? This is
Con,
Psalms 2 and 2 and 1. Why do the heathen rage and the people imagine a vain thing? The kings of the earth set themselves, and the rulers take counsel together against the Lord Yahweh and against his anointed, saying, let us break their bands asunder and
con,
cast away their cords from us. And that's exactly what the brothers get into.
con.
Con. And I
And the word,
and
if you look at the word band, it just means a bond, basically, you know?
see,
Con.
and that's what they do day in and day out. They separate us day in and day out, man. They do it on so many levels. The education, the language. Yo, they
Con.
separated us by language. You know how
Yep.
extreme you gotta go to make sure that we couldn't communicate with each other? It's to the point we
Yeah,
don't even
some
understand each other.
artificial flags, you know?
Right.
Yeah, you know, because it's like what? And then they gave us two other heathen nationalities to lash on: the Negroes, lash onto the Hamites, and then the northern tribe, right? Lash onto the Spaniards, man, the Caucasians, Edomites.
Yep.
Would you?
Okay,
Hey, would you say Caucasians?
yeah,
Conquistador and Caucasian together?
Caucasian, yeah,
What are you saying?
Caucasians.
because they're all the same, man. You know. So again, all right. With that, we're gonna close out and say, "Kala Yahweh,
Call
Y'all
out
shut
Yahweh
up.
Shem
Hashem,
Yahushai.
Y'all
Yahweh
shut.
Shai, Hashem Havokakadash." All right. Double honors the apostle great millstone who've been going out. All right. Sacrificing their life, teaching this truth. And also you Archaeans that are part of this truth to also sacrifice their life to push this truth. Also the hopeful elect of the house of David. And you to Aquasim that listen to us. Shalom, peace and blessing, and Mawasala Baba.
A wildflower.
What's up, Babo?
Kwam Yasharala.
Kwam
Shalom.
Kwame Yashua.
Yashala.